Hello, hello, hello. It is 3 o'clock in Central Time, which means we're about to get started with a cool tournament. If chat could verify that we can see the screen and all that, that would be really awesome. Should be pulling up the video game right now. See Solo Jazz. Well, a Solo Jazz was the stream, so it's a good sign for sure. Yeah, welcome on in, everyone. We're gonna play some Swiss rounds of a fighting game. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna hang out with the crowd, and hopefully we'll be able to talk through it. I'm wearing a lot of hats today, so don't mind me if I get a little distracted trying to put things into the challenge or trying to chat with the players. But yeah, if you are participating in the tourney, feel free to come on in, and we'll have a good time. Bosch is the newest player participating in today's tourney, and like all I gotta say is I'm super proud of people who are like willing to step up to the plate like that. That's really cool of you. In the wise words of boomer community friend Date Bato, you are a legend. And no, I'm super glad that we'll be able to hang out like this, and it'll be cool. I'm sure you'll learn a lot about how life is on the anime side. Yeah, we'll be getting Bobby Fresh in here for our first round, and he's going to be fighting Shidoka, who is the Giovanna currently on the station. So I'm pretty excited to see how Shidoka handles Bobby. If you haven't seen Bobby play, he plays nothing but gas. He goes full force every single time, and sometimes he overexerts his character, and it either succeeds in spectacular fashion or fails in spectacular fashion. But either way, it's epic. And here he is, the man himself, pulling up to play the very first match of the tournament. Let's see how this goes. Feel free to hop into the games when ready, players, and away we go. So, for those who are not familiar with Guilty Gear, I'll be giving a little bit of a rundown of the characters as we start playing through these games. So we have on player one side, we have Nago. Nago is a really interesting character. He can cancel his specials into any other specials that he desires, but it fuels him up with blood gauge, and if it gets too high, then he essentially loses the round on the spot. He goes into a really devastating mode where he starts draining his own health, and hopefully we'll see that See that not happen this set, but you know, maybe we will. Already starting very strong with a lot of scary corner pressure there, but Giovanna's got some moves of her own. We might be seeing a burst there. Yep. Got to get out somehow. And Nago tries to get the command grab to drain his blood gauge, but he does not. So now he's at 1 health. Everything is going to hurt. Go, Game Vet. I personally do not play Street Fighter 6, at least not anymore, but there are plenty of people in the boomer community who do. You will absolutely find plenty of friends who are willing to either train with you or help you improve. We got some pretty good Street Fighter players around here. We got some pretty good Guilty Gear players too. Bobby not popping his blood this time, and imagine that round. Yeah. Nago manages to get that command grab and lets him do a lot of specials with absolute impunity, which, as you can imagine, is pretty strong when they all cancel into each other. Lets him pressure for basically forever. Does he pop here? He might pop here. But that doesn't matter if he gets the kill. And that's game 1. Wow, we're gaming. I don't know if we have our bot here today. But hopefully this should be the link. That is not the link. I'll see if I can grab that for a fine full here at some point in the middle of this, or we're already into game 2. And if somebody else has the link, please feel free to help out. Alright. Jidoka showing teeth too. Oh! Yeah, Shidoka's got hands. Naga's trying to do an invincible reversal there, but if it whiffs, like any game, you whiff the invincible move, you're gonna get punished. Shidoka gets him in the corner. Pretty scary situation. Thank you, Bonehaver. Appreciate that. And that's going to be a pop. Is that death? That is definitely death. I believe that makes it 1-1 for our first game. Here in Guilty Gear Land, we do first to 3 sets. So this is not the last game of the set, but it is certainly not going to be the worst. We're still going to keep seeing some epic play here. Naga gets to take his long turn, but that blood gauge is rising up. He's either got to win here, which he does. I was going to say, or he's got to find some way to lose a bit of blood. Now I haven't done a lot of talking about Giovanna, played by Shoko over here. Gio has a lot of really interesting movement. She slides forwards with her dash into any normals, which lets her approach from pretty long distances and getting close. It's an absolute menace if you've never dealt with that kind of strike throw pressure. Just look at how fast she moves, right? So Naga really wants to keep her out. Is even willing to try and spend burst to do so, but if that gets blocked, Yeah, you didn't really get out of the pressure. And Giovanna does damage too, right? Like we're seeing some pretty solid damage coming out of her. Got the super to drag both players down to the ground. Not gonna hit. And that one's not gonna hit either. That's not quite death, but the whiff grab will be. Showdown with the very good jump to avoid that. We're definitely breaking the wall with this. Going through and making sure we trying to bait that burst, but Bobby's holding on to it. Bobby's holding on to it. Bobby's still holding on to it, but doesn't matter at this point. Landing that is gonna get the meter, so it's safe now. And that is going to be game 5 coming out from our very first set. So, set's already running the distance. I will say Guilty Gear is a game with a lot going on, but there's stuff that's I would say a lot more nuanced in Street Fighter that you don't have to worry about quite as much in Guilty Gear. Like if you learn your bread and butter combo in Guilty Gear, it's going to be a little bit longer than in Street Fighter, but your defensive tools are way stronger, and your approach tools are also way stronger. So, like, there's not like reaction checks the same way that I'm trying to remember the names of mechanics. I should not be trying to remember the names of mechanics because we are going to the last round of the last game. I should actually commentate the game. I'll talk more about Street Fighter in a bit. Showdown trying to backdash that, but it's not quite gonna do it. But Bobby pops. I did not expect Bobby to pop there, but we're spending bursts to stay safe. Does this mean Bobby dies? I don't think Bobby dies here. No, he doesn't, but it's close. We're going to be getting burst. Oh, we're popping again. That's going to be Showdown taking it. 3-2. Wow, what an impressive start for this match. That's absolutely wild. Showdown takes it. And wow, what a game. Now one of our players was not able to make it, so I'm going to be filling in just to make sure that in each of our Swiss rounds we always have everyone being able to play, which means I'm up against Bonehaver.
Are you ready?
But yeah, wow, what a start. What a start to the game. But we're gonna go hopefully directly into game 2. I'm up against Bonehaver, who was surprisingly scary Ava last time I fought them. Well, we'll see how this goes. So, yeah, we're going to focus mostly on just making sure Abba doesn't get to get started like that. So this is Abba's Jealous Rage. She will generally have so much more strength, so much more movement, so much more everything when she has Jealous Rage. So critical to avoid that any chance you get. But okay, we're not quite dying yet. But it's scary. Alright, I make it out of the first round. We are spending all of our resources. We're going places, but we're having a good time, hopefully. I made my pressure just a little bit too fake, so Funhaber's gonna make it out. That's fine. We're gonna bring Abba through the wall here. Alright. Even though I spend burst, not get out of jail free button. So oh, we're both on the board. Oh, dude, that's not gonna be good for anyone. But Funhaber did not have to spend burst there. But I will take spending burst any moment I get. All right, so we're up one, but yeah, we've still got games to go. I'm sure there will be some excellently scary gameplay. You thought that was gonna hit, didn't you? You thought you had to block that. And in most worlds, that would be straight up dead Ava. Unfortunately for me, I exist in the world where I mess up my mechanics. It's fine. It happens. Guilty Gear is a hard game. Oh. Guilty Gear is a really fun game. It's it's got its messed up stuff. I suppose every fighting game does. But it's a good time. Highly, highly recommend. Maybe I'm a little bit biased, but all right.
Duel 3. Let's rock.
Oh, you can tell that I'm having to focus more and therefore getting to talk less. But hopefully y'all are having a good time. We got some scary characters here. I feel like I haven't talked quite enough about Ava. Like when that bar underneath, or like at the bottom of the screen, but above her like the universal meter, is red. She is probably the strongest character in the game. And when that bar is not filled, I wouldn't say she's the worst character, but she is definitely the slowest. So you know, in a game as mobile as Guilty Gear, it can be definitely a big struggle for her to get in. Meanwhile, Kai, the character that I'm playing, is relatively mobile, so I get to do a lot of finer control over the ranges that we're at in neutral, which I'm trying to use to its best extent. And she tried to manually activate Jealous Rage there, but I was able to interrupt that cute little projectile, which means that I am up 3. Bonehaver, very scary Aba, as usual. I stress every single time we fight, but it's always a pleasure. Thanks for the games. Next up, we will be having Hacks and Artok. Okay. Yeah, that burst buffer was definitely unfortunate. I tried to input the super way earlier, but it just did not come out at the moment that I wanted it to. So I dropped the combo before the super even started. But that's how it goes sometimes. Anyway, let's... Is Hax in the room? Hax is not in the room. Make sure that they know where to find us. And there they are. Excellent. Let's catch some epic Ino gaming. Ino's a fun character, so I'm really excited to watch this through. Feel free to start when you're ready, players. And will be up against Artok playing Zato 1. Oh. Did connection do something? And we're getting into the game.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Hey. Right into it with a trade of normals there. And back into the scramble we go. Ino is already running away with this a little bit. Just got notoriously scary offense. Mix that is, I would say, a very counterintuitive to a lot of fighting game players in the 2D world. Yeah, I feel like every 2D player is told, okay, block low as your default. That's generally how you're supposed to approach it, because characters are usually in the ground, right? But for Ino, she gets into the air often enough that your default block honestly might be just block high at first and then block low when you really need to. By the time I'm done with that, we're already done and dusted with game 1. But Artok gets to show off some Zato pressure for a little bit. Zato is our puppet character, so he controls himself, he controls Eddie. Eddie has a great time doing his stuff completely independently of Zato. And they're both a little bit fragile, but that's okay. Because when they get started, oh boy, do they get started. And we'll break the wall, try and reset to neutral. Spending burst just to make sure that things stay okay. But Artok is getting hit by these second and third overheads, and that's not a space you want to be in, especially when that means you're not ready for the command grab super. You're gonna go through the wall. Is taking game 2.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
All right, that was a scary, sketchy 6P, but I am glad it worked. I feel like a lot of people, if you're not experienced at the Ino matchup, not necessarily familiar with Chemical Love counterplay, so that big head height projectile that Ino makes, if you have a run, which Zato does, you can literally just run directly under it, which is super counterintuitive to most players, I think. But Artok inadvertently did it. I don't think that was necessarily something that. I don't think this is a matchup I've seen Artok play before very often. So we'll see. But is doing a very, very patient job does get grabbed, but is willing to contest the setup afterwards. Ooh. Artak leaving a little bit of a gap there. Like a Bloodhound, we're sniffing that out, we're getting out, we're taking our turn, and we are killing again. Wow. I'm shocked. I haven't ever seen Hacks play before. So that was an absolute treat to watch. But that is in fact a 3-0. So an absolutely dominating performance by Hacks there. That was really cool to watch. I don't get to see good Eno players as often as I want to. So super happy to get to know another good Eno player. But yeah, that'll be it for that game. And next up we got Not Really versus Bosch. Or should I should I be calling you Butt Doc, or should I be calling you Not Really? I'm not sure. Either way, we've got Bosch on Elfelt on Jacko. Let's see how this goes.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society. So instead
Letting
of
the
reflecting on
intros
themselves,
rock.
They blamed the beasts.
So
Heaven or hell.
Jacko is an incredibly wild character when she's able to get going. So we'll probably see some minion gameplay happening. But Elfelt's got some moves of her own. We'll probably see some of those coming out as well. All right, Elfelt is coming out strong. A lot of straight hits, but you know, if you're able to handle neutral every time, then you're still going to take some names. But Jacko able to set up the minion. Bosch not quite able to contest it. We'll see if there's a little better luck next time. And Jacko isn't entirely just her minions, of course. You know, we've got some pretty scary advancing normals. We have the pretty scary frame traps. But you know, sometimes all you need to contest those the correct way is just a really long fuck off normal, and Alpha absolutely has that. So yeah, I would say, you know, Jacko was definitely doing some scary stuff there. Jacko did come out with the win, but I think Bosch was able to put up a pretty good resistance both of those rounds there. But I think Not Really is starting to pick up on it. Ooh, Elfelt trying to do some cross-up stuff, but Doc was, oh my goodness, Not Really was ready for it. I can't not just read the name on the screen and be like, oh yeah, Butt Doc. It's a hilarious name. But the doctor is going to go up 2-0. So Bosch is gonna go into game 3. Set points for not really, and we'll see if they're able to make some moves in this last game. Ooh, trying to mash out, has the timing for it, doesn't have the spacing, and is going to get whip punish there. That's fine. We're throwing out some projectiles, throwing out some normals, and hopefully that helps. But the instant air dash from not really will be getting over that and getting in fast enough. Oh, the anti-air 6H, not the usual option you see, but it does damage. It absolutely does damage. All right. We have Elfel doing her patented special, the Rekka series that is pretty much a true high-low for 350. And yeah, unfortunately, that mash put us in a pretty scary last hit situation. But Jacko was able to land that last hit, and that is not really going up 3-0. Bosch, for for a new player to the game, really impressive showing. You made sure to not go down without a fight at any moment. So happy to see that. I will be going up against Not Really and trying to avenge you in the next and yeah, I will be popping in for our second round. I'll be fighting Not Really. So to point out, we are doing a Swiss tournament this time around, so there's no eliminations. None of the players who lost the games that you've already seen are being put into any other brackets or anything like that. We're just going to be playing a bunch of games against each other, and just trying to have a good time. So we're going to hopefully see some good gameplay from all of these players before the night is done. Night. It's early enough. The afternoon. Before the afternoon is done. And yeah, we're just gonna do some clean little gameplay, and I have a little bit more experience in the Jacko matchup, so I am a little bit more empowered to run her down before she starts to get her party going. Hopefully we'll watch that continue to pay dividends. Pay dividends? That's how that goes.
Perfect.
Trying to faultless defense there. Great at keeping me back, but one weakness is it doesn't let you throw tech. So if I'm able to get a throw in there, that can be pretty scary. Oh, we have a minion. No longer have a minion. I am shocked at the restraint. We know how to hold our bursts. But fortunately not quite able to escape from that corner situation. So we'll be going to a game 3 here. And yeah, we're gonna just keep going at it. Now as you've seen, Jacko has some pretty spooky advancing normals. So I do have to be a little bit mindful. Trying to defend for minions, but not quite in time there. Yeah, I mean, you had the right idea, but I messed up, so you messed up too. That's sort of how it goes. Oh? Yeah, I will say this is a faster game than Street Fighter is. So if you play Rashid and you're like, I like pressing all of the buttons all of the time, yeah, this is definitely a game for you. Next up we have Hacks versus Shidoka. We're on to see that for a bit.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
We'll watch Shidoka try to handle this. I will say Shidoka is an EU player, and I believe Hacks is North America, so I get the feeling that we'll be seeing a bit of a struggle here with reacting to this mix, just due to net play. It's unfortunate, but it's not particularly avoidable. You know, we are an international community. These things will happen. But nonetheless, Shidoka doing a really, really good job at, you know, playing around with fuzzy guard timings, putting up a very, very strong defense. You know, any day that you can block Mix even once is is a good day in my book. But yeah, we're seeing Shidoka's more tactical side coming out. I've always found Shidoka to be a very thinky player, which is, it's really scary when you pair a player that's that tactical with a character that you're used to seeing just run at your face all the time. But right now, it's not necessarily working out. Ino is feeling empowered enough to just steal some turns and, unfortunately, steal some games. Unfortunately for Shidoka, that's going to be going up 2-0. We're seeing some classic grounded footsies from Guilty Gear, but does have some long pokes on the ground. She does spend most of her time in the air, but shouldn't discount the ways that she can threaten you on the ground as well. But Shidoka spending some meter to get out. Can't hold against the mix forever though, so we're going to see this go to match point for Hacks. Landing on the ground, but doing the grounded overhead. I mean, every time Ino gets in, it is just mix after mix after mix. So no surprise that we're seeing so many layers to this. Every interaction a little bit different, little bit more to react to. And Hacks is going to take that, put the opponents in the blender, and yeah. What a match! It's so cool to to watch every interaction just be like, oh, here's this mix I haven't shown you all tournament. Oh, here's this mix I haven't shown you all tournament. It's wild how much has in her toolbox. But we have Artok and we have Bobby coming up.
Mankind New. Duel 1. Let's rock.
All right, and we are in for another round of Bobby gameplay. And we get to see Eddie and Zato working together in concert a little bit more as well. Ooh, that does connect, and that's, I think, going to be the round for Nago. Yeah.
Duel 2. Let's
And oh my goodness, Zato, whenever Eddie's on one side of you and Zato himself is on the other side, it is always a super scary situation. It's so difficult to get around those sometimes. But you have an invincible move and you can hit Zato out of doing something, you are going to take that. I do believe that's game 1 for Bobby. Well, let's see about getting in for game 2. Alright, Artok is able to make it out of that super scary situation though. Nago has chip damage on all of his normals, so any turn would have probably ended it, but projectile will take it as Nago does his little clone shenanigans. And oh my goodness, what are these combos? I know Artok has been putting a lot of effort into labbing absolute madness like that. Always cool to see those lab hours come out in the real games.
Duel 3. Let's rock.
Artok is going to be bringing Bobby through the wall. Artok's at full health, or was at full health before that grab connected. So Bobby's got a lot of ground to make up for, but all it takes is a few good interactions in this game. Now both players are even up, but bad burst from Bobby, and that is going to be the game for Artok. I believe that's 1-1, but please do correct me if I am wrong. Going all the way through the wall with Nago here. Artok tried to play the patience training game, tried to get in, but it didn't quite work out. Bobby has no respect for Eddie here. And Zato in return has no respect for Bobby's pressure or defense. And bringing it to last hit. Just one tiny normal, and that's the game for the round at least. We have some scary pressure sequencing going on, but Nago is able to survive to some extent. There is a little bit of blood popping happening here, which certainly does not help, but Bobby does make it out the other side of blood pop with more than 1 health, which is always a really nice thing. Like when you're playing Naga, you want to make sure that you're staying above 1 health all the time, every time. So being able to get out of Blood Rage with that is definitely got to be a relief. But it means we're to the last round of what I believe to be game 3. And a bit of a scary situation for Artok. We're going to be trying to YRC and get a button. I think he pressed just a little bit too early and a little bit too late at the same time. If he pressed a little bit later, we might have been able to see some faultless defense canceling there. Can cancel the first couple of frames of your normals and your specials into faultless defense after the cutscene, which is something that is like really only something I've seen in Guilty Gear. In other games, if you tried to take any offensive action when your opponent does their super, you're kinda cooked. So it's definitely not the usual for fighting games, but yeah, we have more Zada pressure. Artok is happy to just stay on the other side of that screen and just say, like, how are you going to get in? I'm happy to just send Eddie at you, and go, my child, hold down the neutral life stuff. But eventually, Artok tries to go in, and Bobby was able to take that, and that's I want to say game 2 for Bobby, but it is in fact game 3. So we're gonna break things up a little bit. But the intercontinental connection will provide a little bit of rollback, and it seems like that's always unfortunate. Now I need to run off and do a bit of a bio break. But I've given the go-ahead for the next set to start, so you'll be watching Bosch and Bonehaver go at it while I'm gone.
Duel 1.
And yeah, I'll see you in a bit.
Wins. Duel 2. Let's rock. Mankind knew. Duel 1. Let's rock. Duel 2. Let's rock. Mankind. Duel 1. Let's rock. Duel 2. Let's rock. Slap. Mankind knew that they... Duel 1. Let's rock! Slap! Duel 2. Let's rock! Counter! Slap! Duel 1. Let's rock! Slap! Duel 2. Let's rock! Slap! Mankind knew. Duel 1. Let's rock! Perfect! Duel 2. Let's rock!
We're bad. Thanks to all these players for holding down the fort and some gaming while I was gone. I'll go ahead and get in some. Hey. We have our our games for the next round.
Slap.
And I'll be hopping in to fight Hacks. I'm probably going to not commentate this one. Ino is scary when you're not distracted by trying to speak, let alone when you're distracted by trying to speak. So I'm gonna keep letting the gameplay speak for itself, hopefully. But yeah, I'm excited. It's been a hot second since I've fought my usual, I don't want to say training partner necessarily, but the person that I fight the most that plays it's been a few months, so we'll see how this goes.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
I am going through the wall. Oh, I am hard knockdown going through the wall. Yeah. I'll die immediately, but I will die eventually. It happens. Oh my goodness, that was an interaction. Oh no! Okay, we're fine. We're fine. We're good. We're good. We're good. We made it. Only a little bit of panic there.
Slap. Duel 1. Let's rock. Duel 2. Let's rock.
Yeah, fair. Okay, this is a very tight game. Yeah.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Well, I have a move that would have helped with that interaction, but it does not help if I do not in fact land the move. So. We're struggling a little bit, but it's okay. That'll do it. What is that? I still feel the same way after being on the receiving end of the mix. It's just as impressive either way. But next up, is Bartok versus Bosch. Do I spell Bosch? There we go. There's Bosch. Oh man. Well, we'll be seeing hopefully some more of hacks in the future. It's a lovely that you have there. Yeah. Let's get into it. And some more LFL gaming.
Mankind. Duel 1. Let's rock.
Alright. Both players have spent their burst, so any combos that we get now are absolutely real. Seems like Bosch not having a ton of respect for auto pressure, but now that we've demonstrated that we can punish disrespect, we're being a little bit more patient, which is nice to see. Unfortunately, that's a command grab, and we cannot combo into command grabs in this game, so Bosch will be dropping that combo. Alright. We'll little bit of get off me action, but not quite able to keep Zato out. So Artok is going to take this first game.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
I'm just mesmerized by Zato pressure sometimes. Like, it's so cool to watch. It's like, how do people successfully juggle controlling two characters? Controlling one character is hard. You're controlling two characters with the same input, that's nuts.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
It's time for Bosch to reveal their true power. Ultra Instinct. The power is in being able to get tossed through a wall. Never giving up. I mean, who wouldn't like Zato? He is only an assassin that forces you to work for the government. One of the few characters with actual unblockables in this game. You know, what's not to love? Anyway, that will be a in Artok's favor. And next up we have Shidoka and Not Really. We're slowly getting to the end here. We'll be seeing some more gaming coming up here, though, in just a bit. Shidoka is here? Question mark? we'll get Showdown in. We'll get Not Really in, and there we go. Sudoku's in. And we'll get some games versus Not Really in, and we'll see how it goes. Oh, that's a new one. The game crashed on me. Well, that doesn't happen very often. Classic, that's never happened before. Anyway, we're gonna be right back. And I'm going to I'm gonna go over to our little interstitial screen here. While I love and trust you all, it's just good practice to not be showing on stream when you type in code for your tournament room. So I will be creating the room first, and then I will bring this back. Hello, we're back. It's like we never left. Strive servers sometimes take a while to realize when a game crashes that the people involved in that room are no longer connected to the room because the room doesn't exist. But the actual secret is that I've duplicated myself. And all of you, too! We'll get Sudoku in, and we'll get Not Really in. Excellent. There's Not Really, and we're just missing one Sudoku. And hopefully, I will survive this time. Alright. Shidoka's in. Not really's in. Let's get some gaming going. After this, we will have our final round.
Mankind knew that they... Duel 1. Let's rock!
Okay. Shidoka, playing patient, trying to find that opportunity to get in, but ooh, finds it with the grab, and with the charge dust, jump scaring the opponent, not able to react. I suppose that's the curse of Boomer here. We don't have 18-year-old reaction, but what we do have is the ability to unafraid dash, attack through a minion to hit the Jacko that's on the other side and take the round. No fear. Shidoka is trying to make their way in. My goodness, I can't words, I can't pronounce. But what I can do is tell you that Elysian Driver is gonna connect. And we'll start this game off with a final round. Ooh, doing, I don't remember the name of Gio's DP move, but I know it's punishable on block, and it was definitely punished on block there. So maybe it's not the ideal, but we've prevented Jacko from getting most of like the really messed up setups. Although there's some time left. Jacko has one minion out, and one minion is enough if that minion has infinite commands that you can give it.
Duel 1.
Go, my child. Hold down the offense. But Shidoka come back with a vengeance, ready to take a turn, and ready for that turn to not end. We react to the overhead, but not quite throw punishable. Not a little bit too much knockback for that. So, like clockwork, we're trading turns. So, of course, Jacko is going to start out off this round very strong. And now Gio will be the one playing from behind. But, run under the tossed minion. Jacko can, prevent that by dropping the minion and trying to kick it at the opponent. But that means it has a little bit less time. So, the effort to get the most time out of the minion possible, leaving yourself open to Gio's incredible run speed. And that's going to kill the Giovanna.
Slap. Duel 3. Let's rock.
Ooh, 6P round start. The classic "I don't want you to be poking me" button. And of course, Jacko's trying to poke that round start, trying to get that advantage. But he's been able to make it back, take that turn, have that keep him going. Now, this is a scary situation for both players, though. We have a lot of leader on the side of Jacko, but Jidoka has burst as an off-me tool and doesn't even need it. Resets the combo. Probably could have used Wild Assault to get the kill immediately there, but
Duel 1.
you know, not confident in that confirm. Goes for the reset throw instead and manages to take it. I believe that puts us at 1-1. Alright, Jacko coming in with some pretty spicy pressure sequences here. As I've said about Zato pressure, right? Having a Jacko minion on the opposite side of you as well. It's also not a good place to be. If the three of you are making a sandwich, you do not want to be the filling. Right now, the minions are the filling. Great for Shidoka. Shidoka can run that very, very easily. But ooh, absolutely no respect for Jacko's 5H there. Willing to throw that out. But the trying to grab the invincible reversal move means Jacko will be taking this game. I believe that puts Not Really up 2-1. So, it could be the last game of the set. Let's see how it goes. Alright. Let's... Whoa. Got some defend commands trying to prevent Shidoka from just throwing out attacks willy-nilly. But good patience from Shidoka. And it's only a little bit scary. If Shidoka get hit by this, that does not end up being a connected move, but ooh, could have Roman canceled to get the last bit needed, but not able to confirm that. A little bit scary there. I think Shidoka might have lost that with a bit more optimal combo routing. Honestly, it could have gone either way with more combo routing either. But at the end of the day, Shidoka is still in it. Was able to take that first round, was able to steal that burst, which even if we drop this round, which I mean, it looks pretty good for Showdown right now. Be able to even this up, yeah. But even if Showdown had not been able to bring it all together, would have gone into the last round with full burst, but it didn't. Which always a great trade. Any player should take that trade. Not really wants to use that burst. Great get off me tool. But expensive. We'll see whether that really pays off. It is paying off so far. And the minion falling off the wall. Bonk Shio on the head. And we'll see that going into the next round. This is game point for Not Really. And beyond the game point, it's also match point. So Showdown's got a lot on the line here. We want to spend burst to get out. Going to try and use that lovely aerial movement to keep Not Really on their toes. Land that hit, get through the wall. Oh, trying to mash on the invincible reversal. Do we have the Roman cancel route? We do not. But do we need it? I get the feeling we don't. Ooh, that's going to be a little bit of a dive kick there. And evening it up. Last game, last round. This one's for all the marbles. And oh my goodness, I definitely was not expecting that, nor was I expecting that. But we're seeing the end of the set mix that we haven't quite seen from Showdown before, where every Oki is just a little bit different, and that's enough to take it. What a good set. I would love for the players to confirm that that was in fact 3-2. I think it was. Excellent. That brings us to the final players that we haven't seen this round so far. It's Bonehaver and Bobby Fresh against each other to take the marbles. Last time I saw this, Bonehaver took it.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
During the team tournament last month. So we'll see whether that happens the same way over a longer set. And I mean, we're starting out strong. A lot of Jealous Rage meter, not a lot of health for Bobby. No burst anymore, and the instant overhead. That is going to do a very strong first round showing.
Duel 2. Let's rock.
But Bobby's got some scary stuff of his own, and if you don't let Abba get started, you get to get away with a bit more. So the question is Nago not being able to really avoid Abba turning into her Jealous Rage form enough.
Duel 3. Let's rock.
It will be enough to take at least a round. We'll see. Just a little cheeky anti-air there. Not going to get a ton off of it, but you don't need to get a ton if you're getting a nice knockdown. Unfortunately, can't keep Abba out of it forever. So we're going to see whether. Oh my goodness! No burst anymore. But spending the burst to get out does not mean you're safe from the crouching slash.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
If you haven't seen like how the camera interacts with like the charge dust and bursts and all that, there's some crazy stuff that it gets up to. Oh no, I think Bobby is controller disconnected, or is this a desync? Well, that's always unfortunate when that happens. But we're going to try and go back to the room and then refresh the match, and hopefully that will. Oh no, his controller. Not a desync, after all, but in the interest of fairness, I would love to get Bobby the opportunity to, you know, get his controller back, because that was very early in the match. Alright, Bobby is moving. There's movement. There's more movement. Are we back? Are we still back? We'll see when Bobby feels ready to go in for the remaining games of round. Meanwhile, we are starting to approach the end here. Wanted to check in with everyone. See, how are you doing? How have you been enjoying the gameplay so far? I know it's been bit of a one-man show. No co-commentary today, so I hope it's been all right. I hope you've been enjoying the games. But we're giving Bobby some time to deal with controller weirdness. Alright. Well. In the meanwhile, let's do some fun facts. Fact number 1: Guilty Gear Strive is a video game. I shouldn't have said these were fun facts. I should have just said they were facts. Fact number 2: regardless of whether it is fun or not, in Guilty Gear Strive, you can fight. That's right, you can fight. But only while controlling one of the playable characters of Guilty Gear Strive. Fact number 3: in Guilty Gear Strive, assuming that you've picked one of the characters, you will almost always be fighting against exactly one other character. Fact: Bosch will sweep us all the moment he starts trying. You're so right for that. You're so real. maybe it is time. While we wait for Bobby to start his game, hopefully that'll work. I will we'll go and do a little bit of running around in the lobby. I don't know why Guilty Gear said, oh, this was the thing that we need for our lobby system. We need to be able to dive kick. And I don't remember what the buttons are to actually do some of the other things that you can do in the lobby. Oh my goodness. There we go. There's the dive kick. But like, man, we really said, okay, this is the necessary feature that will make Guilty Gear Strive pop off. It's hilariously unnecessary, but it's also so cool. It's just like, it's completely meaningless, but here we are. I don't know where my soccer ball went though. Somebody hide it. I feel like somebody hid it somewhere. Alright, I'm just gonna hide up on this roof. Hey, Bobby's back. Alright. Let's go. Alright.
Mankind Mute. Duel 1. Let's rock. Counter.
Right. We're going into game 2 after a little bit longer of break than I was hoping, but well, we're making it through. And despite the break, Bonehaver is not running cold. Still more than happy to show Bobby what for. Oh, that is going to connect and bring us into. Gets counter hit by the sweep there. That is going to bring us to the next round. We'll see if Bonehaver can bring this back. Gets to hit the deflect shield, gets knocked back a pretty far distance, but we're able to break the wall and refund a bunch of Jealous Rage meter. So, huge advantage going into this round. Doesn't quite finish the combo though. That's going to be a lot of damage, a lot of wasted Jealous Rage bar on this OP. And hopefully we'll get out of this. All right. Oh, well, I mean that is going to help. That is absolutely going to help. 2H, a low that hits from that far away. It's always bigger than everyone expects. I think even the ABBA players don't expect it. We're going to go into round 3.
Slap.
if the controller disconnects again, I would absolutely just give the game to Bonehaver at that point. In the interest of keeping things moving. But I don't think that will be necessary. We're gonna keep it going. And oh my goodness, we hit one of the craziest combos I've seen from Bobby in a while. Wow, that's not something I expected to see today. All right. But 2P misinputs the quarter circle. Doesn't get into Jealous very fast enough, but that's fine. We're still chilling. Wasn't quite optimal, but it was good enough to get people moving to the corner. Oh! I don't think anybody expected that last hit of that super connect. It's always bigger than you think it is. That's how Jealous Rage works, I suppose. Every hitbox Zaba has just gets a little bit bigger than the last time you saw it. But Bobby is putting up quite the wall. Okay, we're doing some cooking though, as Aba not quite giving up yet. But trying to hit with the cheeky overhead. Not quite gonna do it.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
I can't help but feel like this is game 4 of a set that was supposed to be 3 games long. I think Bobby is already 3-0, but we go again, apparently. We'll at least go ahead and do up the next couple of games.
Duel 2. Let's rock.
Bobby able to avoid popping, and will be able to take that game. Oh, did I? Bonehaver did take one. I simply am not paying attention, is what I've learned today. I'll ask them to verify, but we'll go right into the next game.
Mankind. Duel 1. Let's rock.
And we'll see the 2 minion characters go at it. Taking a very strong start, but now Jacko's got the time to set up. has the space to set up, runs away with the minion, tosses it back. Zato's trying to play it patiently. Does manage to get his turn, but I feel like that was a drop combo there. Not a real reset. And Jacko is able to take advantage of that pretty easily. Great. The Fen command says you can't mash, but that throw says you better have mash. So, a little bit of a scary situation. And we are going to be going through the wall. Very little health, all of the resources in the world for not really, and a little bit of air dashing action will get you over and through. Game 1 going to not really. A little bit of waiting for the opponent. Okay, we do rematch. No button check or anything like that. We're good to go into the next game. Alright. Zato is starting to show off the scary pressure. Able to get Jacko through the wall. Very little health remaining. So even the pressure is scary enough to get Jacko to say, "Get off me! I don't want any of this." Narutok wanted to trade in for a little bit of meter, so we get that. People keep mashing on gaps, but those gaps are in fact invincible reversals, so not quite gonna have the effect you want. But whiffing and advancing normal like that is going to get you grabbed, so go to the next round. Just standing a little bit outside of grab range. Sometimes it's scary enough that people will try to throw it out. Try to see, are you trying to grab me? Are you in range for me to grab you? And when the answer to both of those things is no, then you can make some real progress. Artok is going to be taking this game, evening it up 1-1 now.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
If we go into this next game, I was going to call it a little bit more tactical of a game, a little bit less neutral skippy, but Artok gets that poke in, trying to rush in, gets disrespected for attempting, and I feel like not really is a little bit advantage here. Gets the classic Jacko confirm of 5H linking into itself into Elysian Driver, which does insane amounts of damage for how short of a combo it is.
Duel 2. Let's rock.
And not really will be taking that round. Ooh, we get the gold burst on defense. It's always nice to have that extra bit of security. Unfortunate for Artok, has the defend command out, trying to send Eddie forward, but Eddie is getting attacked. When Eddie goes away, Eddie can't defend Zato anymore. So that's it's going to be a very quick game. But Artok's still in it to win it. We
Duel 1.
have
Let's rock.
potentially one last game with these players today. But we'll see if Artok ends the day with a W or rather it will be not really. Not really is doing a great job of just relentlessly pushing offense. Really smothering offense. Artok doesn't know where to press,
Duel 2.
what to press, and you get paralyzed like that in the corner, and you're not going to be having a good time. We have Artok trying to do some good work of his own, but the combo didn't quite go through the wall, and the pressure sequence didn't quite get the results that we were looking for. It's a little bit too patient, not enough hard mix to compensate for that. Oh my goodness, the defend command is a very spooky situation for Artok to be in right now. Oh my goodness, and crouches under the minion's attack, but isn't ready for the whiff punish on that. That will be game 3 going to not really. Astounding performance from really all of the players that we have here. But since this is the last we'll be seeing of these two today, great job to both of you. Pleasure having you here. We will be moving on to Bobby and Hacks for the the last games that these two will be playing today.
Mankind. Duel 1. Let's rock.
Hey, well, Hacks is proving why they are a top 15 Eno for sure today. Absolutely dominating performance in all sorts of games today. That connecting, that is connecting. Bobby is here for a little bit longer. Once blood. And all he needs is to just get one hit in. Anything will do it. A little bit of chip is enough. All right, we'll go to round 3. Yeah, just a little bit of disrespect is all you need. But bad burst will get punished. Not quite enough to kill. I think that is going to get punished as well. So, Axe taking what I believe is game 1. Say I believe, because at this point in the day, things are starting to blend together. We are approaching the tail end, fortunately, but we'll see how it goes. Oh my goodness, Bobby cutting it close with his blood gauge management there, but making it out alive for now. Very nice disrespect. Not letting Ino get the turn. Not letting Ino get anything. Is this going to kill? That is going to kill. Bobby is not willing to let Ino get anything for free. So, well, we are having absolute massacres of rounds here. Bobby gets hit trying to 5P instead of 6P that offense, and this is not going to bode well. He has to spend burst here to get out, but even then, still not quite enough to really make it out of the pressure. Going back through the wall. Yeah, 5K poking at Ino, but not quite able to convert off of it. Has to give up his turn. Has to give up his life bar. That's yet another game on Hax's radar. If Hax wins this, I believe that means they get out undefeated. Completely flawless victory over the rest of us. Dominating performance either way. But trying to do some command grab shenanigans. Well, we'll put Bobby back in the game just for a while. But empty low. Nobody's ready for it. Nobody's expecting it. And Bobby is potentially playing the last round he will play this tournament. Oh my goodness, I got hit there as well. What an insane set of dashes and command grabs, and Ino doesn't know when to block. Bobby staying alive, staying in here, making sure he is known as a force to be reckoned with. 6H will connect, but trying to spend all of his tension just to stay alive a little bit longer, not get immediately punished. But not quite working out for him. We have the fuzzy overhead with blue Roman cancel, and man, that's enough. Oh my goodness, what a last match to end both of these players' tournament runs on. Absolutely crazy. We'll be bringing in Shidoka and Bonehaver for their last matches. And we'll see how this goes.
Duel 1.
I believe these two were. Actually, I might be wrong. I'm not going to say something that I am not confident in. I am going to just keep my mouth shut. What I can say with absolute confidence is that both of these players are great players. And Shidoka is willing and able to shut down Ava, where she gets a chance to really get her game plan going. Not quite able to prevent it that time though. So we'll see how this sequence goes for Ava. Is she able to keep it going? We're able to conserve our Jealous Rage bar, at least, but has to give up the turn there.
Slap. Duel 3. Let's rock.
Okay, and going into round 3, we see Ava proving that she really does have damage. Look at the amount of red in that bar. And Shidoka away, and yes, punishing with the Abare throw. And well,
Duel 1.
we'll be seeing Bonehaver take game 1. Seems like Shidoka is really looking to make sure that that Ava doesn't have the chance to really get started. But it's a very difficult thing to prevent, so fortunately we've weathered the storm so far. So we'll hopefully get some more chances to deal damage and make it out of this game alive. Takes her through the wall. That's going to do it.
Duel 2. Let's rock.
Shidoka tries to backdash, gets hit by the massive normal that is 5H. And that's going to be enough to let Ava get into Jealous Rage. We were not ready to block that or cancel into empty. Means taking it out with perfect as well. But a little bit of a scramble round start situation. Fortunately for Shidoka, ABBA is going to land the attack, and will be able to convert basically any attack like that into Jealous Rage. Tries to go for the cheeky little grounded overhead. Not quite gonna work, but takes enough that ABBA's now in a very scary situation. Or perhaps a slightly less scary situation called starting the next game. We are even set count though. 1-1.
投げますね。行きます。投げますね。
Bonehammer is it's proven to be an absolute force to be reckoned with all of these Jealous Rage, crazy damage combos. Tries to get the Mario throw in just a little bit too far away, so has to do Jealous Rage at a bit of an unoptimal time. Not that much health, but enough bar to absolutely ruin Giovanna's day if you land a single hit. But low enough health to have her own day ruined if Giovanna lands a single hit. Of course, so we just saw Giovanna lands the hit first. That is going to do it. Lands a counter hit 2H, does not confirm it into Jealous Rage. But doesn't need to. Is able to get out of the combos and go into Jealous Rage manually. And tries to have enough time to... Oh! Tries to have enough time. That bar is also building up to be pretty massive. So let's see if Shidoka can prevent this from getting started. And that does not look like it's prevented whatsoever. Bonehammer gonna take game 3.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Tries to confirm into, I want to say it's Tempestad, Luggio's invincible reversal sweeper. Unfortunately gets 6H instead, but still able to get the flawless round off of Bonehammer's ABBA there. Cheeky little backdash into a whiff punish on that. We're looking pretty good for a game 4. But first we have to survive the Jealous Rage, which we do. Bonehammer is here now trying to get out of that pressure. Not quite gonna make it out, going through the wall with the hard knockdown. Tries to parry the round start option, just a little bit of a risky move. That parry is not active frame 1, but for credit, you did a little bit of a late option. Still did not quite work out though. We're going into game 5 with now an absolutely overwhelming Ava. You can see the incredible disparity in power between the normal mode of Ava and the Jealous Rage mode, where the game really does become about managing to outlast the Jealous Rage mode. And Ava's plan just becomes about keeping that bar as filled as possible all the time, forever. But Zoka able to burst out, has to try for something, tries for the wrong thing, and just the quickest buttons, little 2P action with 4-frame startup, fast enough to interrupt so many things. But we'll be ending it up with Bosch and I. We get to see the new character, the character swap.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society.
I'm scared. You know, I feel like I'm about to get hit by the mix-up where Bosch is about to do some scary stuff to me. Yeah, preventing me from getting the confirm. Well, we'll see how this goes.
Danger.
We've got a little bit of mix though. Am I going to be on the left or am I going to be on the right? Who knows? I do believe that's the question Millie is supposed to ask me, but I don't like that that dynamic. I'm going to choose to ask her instead. I have never seen a player with this few hours in the game be able to react to that overhead. Absolutely incredibly incredible reactions there. Yeah, wow, that was really good. I am shocked. This is truly the Bosch sweep coming.
Perfect. Duel 2. Let's rock. Perfect.
All right. Well, Bosch. Milia is always a pleasure to fight. She's got some really cool tricks up her sleeve, but I do want to see this final form that you've got. So I'm gonna push you to your limits. Trying for the run-up grab. Not quite gonna do it. Ooh. The rising H will connect with me.
Duel 2. Let's rock.
No, it's always so cool to see like players who are experienced in other games joining the game that you're familiar with, and like you get to see how their knowledge is like starting to translate over.
Slap.
It's you know, obviously Gear is a really hard game,
Kai wins.
and I'm not going easy on Bosch by any means, but it's, I see like the seeds of, oh, this player knows something about how to play the fighting game. And if you're listening to this, Bosch, if you decide to stick around with Gear, I think there's a lot of potential for you to go a long way here. Anyway, that is going to be it for us today. We should probably go over our rankings at the end of the day. Let's get these last few scores submitted and share with the class. Of course, Pax comes in first with an absolutely flawless record. I'm in second. Chidoka, Bonehaver, and Bobby Fresh all almost tied for third with the 2-2 record each, but with the tiebreakers that we have, Chidoka is going to take third, and Bonehaver is going to take fourth. Places Bobby in fifth place. Not really also coming in with the 2-2 record, going to take sixth. And we have Artok and Bosch rounding out our gang. Good games to all the players. Really happy to see everyone come out today. And I'm glad we got to get every match on stream. We did run a little bit of overtime compared to what we were expecting, but I hope you all had fun. I hope you are able to come back next month. October, I'll be running it again, and I'm thinking about some ideas of how to change up the formula. We'll see whether those shake out. But hopefully we'll be able to see the new character Queen Dizzy by then, and perhaps even see her in action. But that's going to be it for us today. Thanks for hanging out, and I will catch you next time. Peace.